Good morning, Nitin. I welcome you to our today's session on trending now. Our today's first question of the day is: the pandemic has redefined how do we do business in the time to come? What have been some of the learnings from the past year in the Indian ecosystem?
Good morning, Vijaya, and I hope that everything is well with you and everybody is safe. I'm sure you would have realized that 2020 has been a very extraordinary year. COVID-19 has had an incredible impact on the way we lead our lives, both personally and professionally. If you look at how the economy has fundamentally changed, we have moved from a world with digital to a digital world, digital first world. Businesses have had to pivot, delivering delightful, from delivering delightful, personal, relevant interactions to real time and supporting critical needs of our customers with empathy. Whether demand for their products or services that they see have increased, businesses have had to, address the same challenges. If you look at what were those challenges? Remote working, the ingest of new digital customers, the need for greater convenience, changes in buying behavior, and we've got some more insights to talk about this as we go along this discussion. There's been so much change in the pattern that our customers have seen in their customers. And the last one, which is obviously very important, is how well they were able to engage their employees and ensure their well-being. I'd like to talk about a few stories that are quite interesting, and I get inspired by the business resilience that these customers have been able to demonstrate. And there are many, but let me talk about a few. Let me take a very important example in the travel industry. Indigo, who's been our customer for many, many years, had a huge impact due to COVID-19. If you look at the travelers, what they believed was the situation and how they expected reaching to their destinations with safety and security, Indigo was one of the airlines that was able to build resilience during this time, accelerate their digital transformation efforts. They improved on the digital engagement for their customers so that they could believe and trust the safety that they brought during their travel. They had improved on the process. We already had digital processes around booking, check-ins online. We all experienced that. But because of the anxiety that their customers faced during, COVID, flying, reaching out to the airport, they made sure that they accelerated their digital capability, which gave their customers a much better experience during these challenging situations. I think Indigo was one of the airlines that embraced the digital transformation very early, and they also understood the customer sentiment and made sure that they're able to automate and deliver content that was tailored to what their consumers expected. To give you another example in the same industry, and this is Indigo that obviously flies passengers around. We had a very similar experience with Bile, which is one of the leading airports in the country, and they saw a very sharp decline because of COVID in the number of travelers coming around. But what did they do? They actually took on the resolve to maintain a strong foundation to accelerate their digital capabilities and improve customer experience. The company actually created a fully digitized parking to boarding customer journey and was one of the first airports to go completely contactless end-to-end. Even when there were few travelers, their clear and consistent engagement with passengers coming to the airport built the trust with Bile. Now, shifting gears, let me give you another example that is truly inspiring, and this is in the financial services industries. HDFC Bank also saw a significant challenge on digital transformation due to pandemic, new customers coming in, a huge amount of traffic on their digital properties, and they wanted to make sure that they're able to leverage on the digital platform and make sure that they're able to deliver a frictionless engagement with their customers. They recognize that digital has become all important. It is the bridge between the customer and the business, and they worked with us in partnership. They worked in partnership with us to make sure that they're able to deliver the next level of personalized experiences to its customers with zero or minimal physical interface, which is very important. And there are many examples, Vijay, I can talk about, across various industries, retail, consumer good, for example, Nykaa, and in the insurance space, and even in e-commerce. This is the new world order. Digital transformation, customer experience management has leapfrogged, making it more relevant for businesses now than ever before. If you look at, a report that was, brought out, a survey of Fortune 500 CEOs, 3/4 of them believe that COVID-19 will force companies to accelerate their digital transformation, and we are experiencing that. We are seeing a lot more companies stepping out and saying, how can Adobe help? The traditional way of handling digital is no longer valid. Businesses need to create the big picture. And we are well positioned as Adobe because we have the art, which is content, and the science, which is data, to help customers transform digitally.
Nitin, those were some very insightful examples that you kind of shared with me. I'm kind of intrigued the way that you kind of shared with me about Indigo Bile. I never thought that these guys will use the products in such intrinsic manner with their things,
Yes.
Yeah, even bank for the HDFC Bank for that matter
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
So my second question is, what are some of the trends that you've noticed? Basis the discussion, basis some of your engagement with clients, if you can share the trends that you've noticed as business pivoted in this digital-only world.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I think Bijoya, the examples that I took definitely hint towards the trend, which is that every business definitely has to be digital now. That's the new normal. There is a need and urgency to accelerate their adoption of digital solutions. Organizations, are seeing new customers arriving in record numbers. They are seeing a lot of customers who want to now transact with you digitally, whether on your website or your app, and they're creating some new journeys. Absolutely, unheard of, somebody wanting to have the product or service and making it available to them when they need it. And at the same time, what's happening is that, my customers or for any other organization, my existing customers have become less predictable, right? So there's a ingest or there's a huge amount of new customers that are coming in because of, the way the world is now in terms of restrictions and the new normal. And then the customers that I always believed would behave in a certain way, they've also changed. So therefore, both of these groups of customers that are, that an organization is experiencing have made the CX proposition even more important than before. I think if you look at any company's ability to deliver great customer experience is no longer a nice to have. It is the difference between sustenance and becoming irrelevant. I'd like to quote our president, chairman, and CEO, Jonathan Ryan. What he said was, the genie is not going back into the bottle when it comes to the impact and opportunity of digital. And I truly believe this, that it's here to stay. Companies who need to be relevant in the next 3 to 5 years need to adopt it faster, and they need to be ready to look at all the new customers that are coming across to them as prospects to buy products and services, and they need to make sure that they use data and insight to cater to the needs, the changing needs of their existing customers. We are about to release Adobe's Digital Trend Report 2021, and what that talks about is that companies in APAC have never been more interested in being agile, adding new capabilities for seamless digital execution. And 1/3 of those organizations in India are saying that they've been unusually agile, which means that they have to cater to the needs of their consumers much faster than what they had imagined pre-COVID. And I would also say that, the organization have done a lot of soul searching, if I may say so, last year. And they've changed the way they communicate, obviously with empathy, and how they engage on social issues and live up to the organization purpose. The same report, which is Adobe's Digital Trends 2021, talks about empathy by brands, which will be key, competitive differentiator for customer experience. I think analyzing and adapting to customers' emotional journey in the new world will be the next evolution of experience management. But most organizations are still not there and not displaying authentically this digital empathy. And 1/3, almost 37% of executives in Indian organizations have significant insight into customer mindset, but they need to be better. I think businesses that have been resilient and succeeded in 2020, which is last year in COVID times, and they have been able to occupy the consumer mind share, need to now look at the newfound priorities and ensure that they build on their success. So when I look at the trends and when I look at what customers need to do, an important area that is critical for any organization this year and moving forward is the close partnership between CMO and CIO. You see, what happens is that the data available in the organization and the applications that generate that information is under the aegis of a CIO. How you deliver experiences and what brand empathy and value you create with prospects is the responsibility of the CMO. And what this pandemic has done is that there is a need for the CIO and the CMO to build a holistic experience for their customers, which means bringing or optimizing the data and insights and creating personalized experiences at scale. For companies looking at success in 2021, they need to understand that convenience on digital platform is now commoditized. So it's no longer something that you can talk about is your digital or comparative differentiation. It is an expected norm, and it's not a USP. To differentiate the experience that you create in the minds of your consumers, you need to think of customers as people and not data sets, and make empathy the future of experience. Second, even as the world returns to the new normal, the customer is not slowing down. And we have seen that with a lot of our customers who are using our technology, that there will be multiple disruptive factors that the businesses have to tackle. And lastly, and this is something that I just talked about, at the beginning of our discussion, is the fact that companies that want to provide great customer experience are those whose employees are enthusiastic about their brand and its purpose. So, Bijoy, these are certain trends that I wanted to share with you and our audience.
That brings me to the last question. You touched upon some of it in our earlier conversation. So, what is Adobe India's outlook for 2021?
Yeah, great question. So I must say that I'm quite bullish about 2021. If you look at our vision, it's changing the world through digital experiences, and that is so relevant in the times that we have today. Digital is the catalyst for any company, whether we look at organizations in retail, organizations in banking, insurance, e-commerce. It is going to be the catalyst for companies' growth. And Adobe has proven its leadership in customer experience management. We have demonstrated success. We've had, multiple customers transform, and we are uniquely positioned to offer what you can think of as a playbook that will help them, leverage the power of digital. So we will make sure that the customers stay ahead of challenges that they face, adopt technology at a fast pace, what we call as, being agile. And since digital has become the core strategy for success, we are going to be the strategic partners for companies across various verticals. We have the ability to provide them industry thought leadership, guide them with you can think of as a blueprint for being for being successful digitally. We've ourselves been a digital company. We transformed into cloud much earlier when cloud wasn't really something that a lot of our peer groups understood. So from my perspective, I see 2021 as a great opportunity for us. We are the fastest growing region in the APAC. We are, an organization which is investing heavily on artificial intelligence, AI, making sure that we are able to take, customer experience to scale. I think across various verticals, whether you look at, e-commerce, we work with the top 4, out of the 5. If you look at, the travel and transport, we work with the top 4 of the top 4 companies, and we even on the telecom side. So, as a company, we've always been relentlessly focused on making customers successful in their digital transformation. And I'm sure that based on our success, based on what we can do, based on the playbook that we carry for customer experience management, Adobe India will be very successful in 2021 and for many years to come.
Thank you, Nitin. I think that was a very interesting session, and I learned a lot from you.
Thanks, Bijoy. It was great talking to you, and I'm sure that we'll give you more insights as we progress in this year.
Absolutely, and I look forward to catching up with you sometime soon as well.